Hi everyone, welcome to another Coronavirus TV episode. I'm going to be talking a bit about remdesivir again, and actually in particular a forecast or a sales forecast that's just been put into the public domain by a pretty well-known Wall Street analyst, Geoffrey Porges. He's already made quite a lot of headlines because of a pretty blunt Q&A exchange he had with the Gilead CEO, and he's now translated some of the interactions there into basically a number that he expects Gilead to be able to achieve in terms of the money or the revenues that remdesivir will provide. A really interesting topic for me, considering my background. Hopefully I can convey, I suppose, the general nuts and bolts of the forecast and what it means more generally to you today. So long story short, remdesivir, he predicts, will achieve $1.9 billion in sales this year, and then stabilize to achieve around $6 billion annually thereafter. So not just 2021, but also with a pretty medium-term outlook as well. So underpinning this, we have a price assumption of $5,000 per treatment course. We also have the thought that vaccines won't be universally effective, so there's going to be a seasonality component to future coronavirus outbreaks, so we won't be able to control it via herd immunity. Also, there's going to be considerable government stockpiling of remdesivir. All of these are optimistic assumptions, generous assumptions, and it will all come together to paint this picture, of $6 billion annually, making remdesivir perhaps one of the highest selling infectious disease drugs of all time. Just not bad, really, considering it was pretty much discontinued at the start of the year. So whether you agree or disagree with the number, and plenty of people will have an opinion, firstly, I just want to applaud the efforts. It's not easy to, I suppose, stick your neck out there, put your neck on the line, and put a number out there for everyone to critique and shoot down. But there are many different points of this number and the assumptions that underlie it that you can take a viewpoint on. And firstly, and I suppose most importantly probably, is this price point of $5,000 per treatment course. I think Gilead would be stretching public goodwill pretty much to the max. And remember, it hasn't even shown that there is a mortality benefit for remdesivir yet, only that it reduces time spent in hospital. There is an argument that reducing hospitalized time is valuable and will result in overall cost savings, but this is a harder argument to make to the general public because we won't be realizing any of the benefits of this. If Gilead is able to show a mortality benefit, then that perhaps makes this price point more realistic and palatable. Also, his thoughts on vaccine availability and vaccine effectiveness are certainly bearish or pessimistic. So this assumption means that basically we're not going to have effective vaccines, not at the start of this winter coming or the next winter coming. So there's always going to be outbreaks of coronavirus. And therefore, in order to tackle this, governments are going to need to stockpile remdesivir to manage the load on hospitals. I mean, at the moment, we don't really have that much data on vaccines to go by. So I kind of agree in that we can't really say with confidence that this Moderna vaccine, for example, will be effective and available at this number of doses by this date. But we do have over 100 programs in the clinic. We have some of these have progressed to phase 2. We have huge manufacturing commitments. I'm more optimistic, and I do think vaccines will play a really important and clear role, and perhaps sooner than what Geoffrey Porges is thinking. So nevertheless, so his assumption is perhaps a bit more pessimistic. The last point is around competition. So this remdesivir forecast is pretty much done in isolation. There's no thoughts or consideration of a new drug coming along with a better clinical profile, meaning that remdesivir isn't used, it's perhaps a second line or a third line treatment. And I kind of agree with the approach. The most advanced direct competitor for remdesivir perhaps will be in the form of a monoclonal antibody. And the most advanced of these, Eli Lilly's, has only just entered phase 1 trials. So it would be incredibly speculative to say that this Lilly drug is going to be approved on this date, it's going to show this clinical effect, and it's going to take this % of market share. We know nothing about it, so it's perhaps a bit too early to factor it in. Nevertheless, there is a future scenario where another drug comes along that's better than remdesivir. It might be used in combination, but it could completely supersede remdesivir. So in which case, that kind of longevity of the forecast comes under question. So if I was doing this forecast, I'd probably be tempted to come in the middle ground for some of these assumptions, particularly around pricing, around vaccine availability and effectiveness, and then competition. So his forecast is certainly on the higher end. That said, I do think it's a really important piece of work and very valuable, as long as it's seen in the context of the assumptions that are being made, and that these assumptions are best case assumptions for Gilead. Okay. Well, hopefully you found that topic interesting. I know it's something which gets me going at work, and I look forward to catching up with you soon on the next episode. Thanks and bye.